All right, so another thing that you may want to do in Inkscape is add some text to your virtual paper here in Inkscape and possibly weld it. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. So you'll look at the text tool right here. It's the A with the little cursor. You can click on that. You'll notice that your icon changes to a little crosshair with an A. That means you're in the text tool. Now you do have some options available up to you up here at the top. You have your font, you have the size, and you also have the weight of it, whether that be normal, bold, and so on. So right now it's Gaudy Stout, and one of the drawbacks to you thinking that you can just go ahead and choose a font up here, you actually need to have text on your mat first, and then you can go ahead and change the font. So let's go ahead and add some text here, and I'm just going to go ahead and type in example. And you can see that it's utilizing the same font that's up here. Now, how do we change that? Well, you can highlight it, and you can go ahead and go through the list and change it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to this, and you can see that it did change. Now, how do we change our default font that we're currently working with? So every time that we go and start a new one, it's always going to go to something that we would actually use. Well, that's under the text menu, and it's under text and font. And over here, you can now change the font. So say we want impact, and we want to set that as the default. Okay, so all we do is click that, and then we click close. And now, as you can see, Gaudy Stout is still selected, but once we go ahead and click, it goes to our default font. So that's a way to get around that and add some text. So just because we have text on our mat doesn't mean that we are good to go as far as saving items. So if I were to go to File, Save, you would expect that this text would be something that you would be able to cut. Well, that's not the case, and a great way to always double check yourself is highlight what you're looking at and say, is this a path? And you're going to know whether or not it's a path or not by looking down here in the information box. So right now it says it's text. It is not a path. Well, we need to convert this to a path prior to saving this as an SVG file. So how do we do that? Well, we go up to the Path menu, and we go to Path, Object to Path. Okay. So now that is a single path, and if we go up to the View and Display Mode, Outline, we'll see the outline skeleton of the text. And as you can see, this is not a path up here. We click on it, we can take a look down here, and it is not a path. All right, so how do we weld, put these letters next to each other and then get a nice little weld? So basically, I'm going to go ahead and go back to our display mode. I'm going to go back to normal. And as you can see, I can't singly click something. Okay, so let's go ahead and ungroup it. And now the text moves individually. So now I can overlap these letters, and you'll get the idea here once we have everything at least touching, so that we can see what the weld will do for us. Okay, so we just have this, although I would not want to cut something like this, but just to give you an idea of what to do. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and then we're going to go up here and do some path operations. Now remember, you cannot do path operations unless we are working with paths. Okay, so let's go up here to go to Path, and then we're just going to go ahead and go to Union. Now once we did that, as you can see, it kept all the inside pieces, which is what we want, and it basically fused this word together. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this appears in the display mode. Go to Outline. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little here, just so we can get an idea of what actually happened with this weld. So with the letters that overlapped, you can see that they are connected and they're fused together. Now, keep in mind, whenever you fuse things or weld things, union them in Inkscape, uh, you know, they have to be a path. And when something is a path, they are no longer able to be edited by using the text tool. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out to the paper. And if I needed to edit this text, I'm not able to, but I can edit this text here. So keep in mind, whenever you convert something to a path, you are not able to edit it as far as the text tool being involved, okay? So hopefully you enjoyed this lesson and continue on with the course. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below.